We live in a unified field of consciousness, and us as human beings incarnate, develop this sense of self-awareness as we become aware of our own consciousness, our own awareness. That's where the law of polarity comes in, because we develop ego and we start to see the world as separate from ourselves. We start to place labels upon the world, and those labels have poles. Hence the law of polarity. Yin and yang. Buddhist philosophy talks about this often. We have all these different labels that we assign to things, right? We say, this is mine, that's yours. Wow, it's so bright outside. It's warm today, isn't it? Oh, goodness gracious, this would be a wonderful day to go to the beach. Or, oh, it's quite gloomy out today in the rain. These different labels that we assign to everything have an energy associated with them. Those energies have poles, and everything has a pole, as we can understand from the law of polarity coming from Hermetic philosophy. Hermes Trismegistus is the grand architect of Hermeticism. Hermeticism has deep roots in ancient wisdom, in ancient Egypt, in Rome, in Greek mythology. And we can begin to understand that by reading several texts, the Emerald Tablets, Hermetica, Kabbalion, and this law of polarity comes from the 7 Hermetic laws. Everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Everything is dual. We are dual. Ego brings us into this world, and we begin to see the world as dual because we became aware of ourselves. We became aware of our own consciousness and created duality in our own mind when we live in this unified field of consciousness. We understand that everything, all is matter. All is energy, frequency, and vibration. Not all is matter. Matter is an illusion because we live in this unified field of consciousness. So, when we start to understand our place in the cosmos and the role that energy plays, and the fact that we are living in this holographic universe, we can understand that this is just one, the universe, source, God, is just one organism, imagining itself, believing into itself, living within itself, experiencing itself. However, all truths are but half-truths. And as I explain this, I limit God's creation. I limit the all. I limit the intelligent infinity of our cosmos by trying to put labels upon it. However, I can lead you closer to truth because as I speak these words are entangled with mental images that you are receiving and depicting in your own mind. So, these labels all have energies associated with them, and these energies have poles. Think about the yin, think about the yang. The Buddhists got it right. They understood that all has polarity. Everything is dual, but that dual are but opposite sides of the same coin. So, us as human beings, quite literally in our physical manifestation, we see duality. We have man and woman, 2 genders, 2 sexes. Some people may say there's quite a few more, but I'm gonna keep it traditional. I'm gonna be the minority here and say that there's 2 genders, and it's masculine and feminine, male and female. And we quite literally see the masculine embodied in the physical makeup of man. We see him with the pole. The penis is the pole, the positive polarity. The feminine, the yoni, the womb of creation, is the negative, is the feminine, right? The positive and the negative come together to create life, right? So we see the yin and the yang work in perfect harmony to create. And as we create, we see creation. That didn't really... So we're going to move down to the sun and the moon, right? Moving on a cosmic scale, right? The masculine perspective is the light, the sun. Right? The sun is the provider for the entire cosmos, for our solar system. The moon is the nighttime. It is that energy associated with night, right? The masculine is the matter, is the planets. The feminine is the space. It's the flow, right? So the creativity, the actual action of creating, is the masculine nature, but the flow of that creativity is the feminine nature. So each of these play their unique roles to create this universe that we know and understand. We see this manifested in our government. Look at the government in the United States of America. We have the red and the blue. We have the Republicans and the Democrats, and they're gonna go to war with each other. And it's either Donald Trump or it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, whatever. You have to take a choice. No, that's not how this shit works. That's not how the law of polarity works. That's not how we're meant to operate as human beings. We're not meant to operate as divided and separate and you and me. No, 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 no. They bleed into each other. This is a spectrum. It's not black and white. The law of polarity is not black and white. So we have to get that through our thick skulls. We see here, identical in nature, but different in degrees. Take, for example, hot and cold. I go outside on a cold winter day and I say I'm cold. It might be 10 degrees out and I might say I'm cold. But guess what? Cold is simply a label I put on the feeling of the absence of heat. It's not that there's two separate feelings. It's simply my relation, my relative experience that I'm placing a label upon. And that is the same for all of these labels. And there's so many more. This is a small list. There's so many labels that we place upon the world. So as we begin to understand what duality means, what polarity means, we can begin to embody these traits within ourselves. We can embody the fact that even though you're a man, even though you may be in this masculine body, you can embody the feminine perspective. You can embody the feminine aspect of creativity, of vulnerability. A man needs to walk on both paths to truly embody true masculinity. Because masculinity isn't 99% masculine and 1% feminine. No, 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 no. It's much more even than that. But it's a polarity because you have some manly mans who they just want to walk around all the time and talk about banging girls, and they want to talk about sports and betting and doing this and that, right? And they're macho and they pump their biceps in the gym. But then you have other guys who they can get down with sports. They can push their bodies, but they can also create and they can be vulnerable and they can have deep conversations and feel empathy and compassion towards others. And they're maybe 60-40, right? They're maybe 60-40. That's what these labels that we assign, the poles, nothing is one. Nothing is one. I can't say, oh, that man is evil and he's 100% evil. No, because that man probably has a daughter. That man probably has a daughter that he loves dearly. And he loves her so much, and she is the light in his world. And just because this man is taking advantage of people in a business perspective doesn't make him wholly evil. He can show love at home, right? So we take these labels and we assign them to things from our limited mind, from our limited degree of consciousness. We have to accept, we have to appreciate, we have to love these labels for what they are without limiting our experience of them, right? So go outside at night. It's not bad to go outside at night. You can appreciate the nighttime. You can look up at the moon with love. It's not a bad experience. The feminine nature isn't bad. The masculine nature isn't good. They are. They are the way that they are. And that's what the law of polarity shows us. The law of polarity shows us that the equal yet opposites that we experience are but labels that we assign to the world. Not to say that they don't exist without our labeling of them, but we must place our recognition in them. Place recognition in these labels. Take note that it's nighttime out. Take note that it's a beautiful day, but you need not label it and limit it. Because we live in this unlimited universe, and labels are the things that limit us most. We place labels on ourselves, labels on the world. We are no better, no bigger than those labels. So I'll leave you with that. That's the law of polarity. Drop any questions in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about polarity. Do you want to see more on Hermeticism? Do you want to see me go through all the Hermetic laws? Would that be epic? So yeah, masculine, feminine, click subscribe on this channel. I'm going to be posting tons of these whiteboard videos because they're electric. I love you. Thank you for watching all the way through. Hopefully this was informational for you. Not many people talking about this stuff on the interwebs. So here I am bringing consciousness to planet Earth. It's already here, but I'm just uplifting it because I love you. I love you. Thanks for being here. Much love. Click subscribe.